So then, time for something a little bit different. Looking at something system-based for once. Yeah, more or less. There's enough technique in this, but I feel like it's sufficient as a transition. So, Exo Force then. Another sublime I grew up with. I only ever owned like 5 sets from it. Let's see, I had the original version of this. I had Sentry, the evil version. I had the equivalent price Polymex for the next year, and I had one of the larger sets, and I fucking loved it. This line is very cool. I believe it was Lego's first full-on foray into mechs, and look at how things have gone since then. We have so many of them now, and like, have you seen the new latest Ninjago stuff? That is cool as heck. So, anyway, what have I done differently to the original set? Well, first things first, actually, let's pop the control levers here out of Ryu's hands. Fold this down and get him out. And take a quick look at him. He is entirely unchanged from the official set. He is just an angry man with a headband. Rather than turn the entire head around, let's just swivel his hair. Wait for the camera to do its job and focus. There we go. Yeah, so that is Ryu. He is normally, I believe, a technician, or like a mech repair guy or something. I forget the exact lore. But yeah, here, for reference then, is size comparison with a minifigure. And with a minifigure equivalent height. Relevant, non-minifig, technically. Yeah, anyway. Getting him back in the cockpit then, I can show off some of the build. There will be instructions for this posted at a later date. I've already got them made, so I may as well use them. Okay, I definitely was able to get him to hold these properly before. I mean, you saw it earlier in the video even. Yeah, that'll do. Let's just give him a slightly more dynamic pose as much as is possible with this. So, the build itself then, what has changed, what has stayed the same? Honestly, the most important similarity to my mind is the big shoulder things, even if the stickers are now on the opposite ones. I just like how it look this way around, I'll be honest. Legs. Yeah, this part of the feet is similar. The ingot's different. The rest of the foot is entirely new. The rest of the legs, again, brand new. The basic control setup is the same, but there's some alterations made. The armament's the same. The biggest difference is, other than the build itself, is the stickers, because I did something that's kind of a grey area, trust me, and actually sliced up some of the original sticker sheets I could apply. For example, this and this and this writing across the back of across 3 plates here was originally all one sticker. Same goes for the other leg, and you may have seen it before, the sticker detail behind the pilot. Which, you know, more or less legit, I'd say. Yeah, we've got antenna here based on the ones in the original set. Mostly what I've done is de-jankified the existing articulation and added a bunch more. So there's now mixel joint at the shoulder. There's now a swivel here. And double hinge, which allows for a full range of elbow articulation. Not that it's entirely necessary, but it just looks cool. Same goes for the other arm. There's still the spinny thing for the missiles. Shoulder pieces here don't really move, but they don't really need to. You saw earlier, this panel is capable of moving to allow the pilot to get in and out. Swivel at the waist, but if you look at the construction there. Let's move the arms out of the way a bit just to show off the range at the lower legs a little better. There's now full outward movement to the hips. A little bit over, so you know, mandatory beautiful spread. There's a just shy of 90 degrees at the knee. There's also a swivel at the knee, just because that's how they end up being attached. Yeah, leg construction is a little odd, but you get used to it. I will say that these parts that I used are a little expensive, but this is the quickest way of swiveling a ball joint connection by 90 degrees in sort of the least space. Feet are now on ball joints. I'm just gonna let's pop off the shin armor. Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's attached to that. Yeah, let's pop off the shin armor and show that. Yeah, so a mixal joint here, so a good range of motion there. Plug this back on. You can see a little bit of how the leg comes together from that. Like I said, instructions are going to get posted in due course, so you'll get a much better idea of how this works from those. Bring the arms back down into position, and yeah, this thing looks a lot more dynamic. You can get a lot more sort of subtle poses here. And the antenna also, rather than being straight up, they have a little bit of side to side, a little bit of back and forth, just again. So you can get just that slightly more dynamic look to it. And before, it could only really hold standing and running poses. There'll be an image somewhere on screen, like, let's say about here, of the original set. There's also a Horrorbank alternate build that I wouldn't mention when I first posted this on Reddit. Someone mentioned that it looked cool. Here's that, just to show you it. So a final size comparison with this being a mech, I believe the traditional standard is the canned drink, in this case sugar-free strawberry watermelon tango, which is very refreshing, very highly recommended, but that's not what this review is about. Is it even a review? So yeah. This has been my... I'll give you a closer view of the back, actually. This has been my revamp of the Sentry Exo Force set, which, you know, it's a set that I've always liked. I actually do still have my original copy of it somewhere in storage, but I'm not going to go and dig it out just for the sake of one comparison shot. You know, I can... what I've already showed what the original set looks like. So, yeah, I just wanted to do something a little bit different, show off something, you know, slightly more system to kind of get you all slightly more used to showing more system stuff. I know I did a review of 3.11.11 a little while ago. Much more planned for that. I have 2 copies of that set for a reason, after all. So, that has been that. Thank you for watching. Next time, I don't know, something else. I have a few more system builds to show off. I'll make it a regular thing once I'm done with Matora on Mondays. At some point, I definitely want to pick up the parts of my upgraded version of Sentry, the one that Uplink here kind of goes with, because that also looks pretty cool in my opinion. So, peace out.